but we are on Hecate for map number 1 of the grand finals, and it's a TvT. Isn't that kind of hot? In the lower left-hand corner of Hecate, we have Team Liquid's Cure taking his side of the bracket, taking down Hero, our number 1 seed and many-time KSL winner. Not getting into the finals this time, not if Cure's TVP has anything to say about it. Meanwhile, ByuN took down Dark, our other often finalist of the KSL. And now he is here as well for the Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. As a reminder, this tournament is fully funded by the Patreon. If you'd like to support the KSL, if you want to see these players continue to have tournaments, you know, we have the GSL season going on right now. There is a rumor, I hope it's not true, there is a rumor that it is the last GSL at the moment. I don't really have any confirmation on that, and I don't want it to be the case, but you know, stuff like this is going to be really important for these players if the GSL does stop. So I hope you guys would consider joining the Patreon if you're not already in there. If you are, thank you for your continued support. I hope we can run the KSL for a long, long time off of that support. If you join the Patreon, you will get the replays from every tournament. So, you know, if you're trying to get them replays, you know, it's a good place to check it out. Looks like I have a pretty standy-andy opening from these guys so far. I'm always interested in what TvT is going to look like. You know, I don't catch a ton of mirror matchups, casting just a couple of days a week. It's basically, we got to see how many Cyclones these players decide to build. Or if we get them, in my opinion, more interesting Marine tank versus Marine tank fights. There's those first Cyclones on the way. Dead even build so far. ByuN went for a mass Cyclone strategy against Dark, which was very interesting. Somewhat mixed results, but honestly, he looked very strong with it. I feel like the players are getting more and more used to the heavy Cyclone play and how to utilize them between TvT and TvZ, and honestly, even some TvP builds involving lots of Cyclones. I am not Requiem planning to go to Cheesadelphia, unfortunately. I would love to go to a Cheesadelphia. That's honestly a tournament that sounds like a lot of fun to go to. I wish there was a smaller LAN like that closer to me, because getting to it is unfortunately not cheap. We're in the same country, but it's pretty far away. I am planning to go to Dallas, though. I do have to still buy my plane tickets for that, so I should probably do that soon. But planning to go to DreamHack Dallas. Hope to see you guys there. We have the drop coming in for Cure. ByuN only went for the single Cyclone and then straight into a Siege Tank off the back of it. So he's going to have to deal with the Cyclones and Ravens coming out of Cure without his own big set of Cyclones. I mean, the Siege Tank's going to do a great job starting off. Cure going to take some damage on both the Cyclones and then just kind of run away. Cure's got to be careful with these Cyclones now. Only 34 and 40 hit points. There's an auto turret available as well. Cure just sending more Cyclones across the map, continuing to build them, continuing to build Ravens. And we have seen players try to skip the Cyclone phase before, and I mean, I certainly have seen it work, but I have absolutely also seen the Cyclones just kind of dominate the non-Cyclone player. This, though, is really nice for ByuN. He gets a kill on the Cyclone on the low ground, gets a kill on one on the high ground, keeps his Cyclone alive, which is pretty massive, because that's crucial in helping keep the medevac back. Yeah, killing those two Cyclones is huge. It's a great trade so far for ByuN. These two tanks really getting their work done. However, Interference Matrix is about to finish for Cure. It is already done for ByuN. Oh, no, wait. He didn't get it. Sorry, I thought I had clicked on ByuN's Ravens. He does not have Interference Matrix, the upgrade. So Cure can shut down the tanks, and this is where it gets really dicey for ByuN. He will not have any shutdowns available. He will have auto turrets available, and he is absolutely going to have to use those if Cure decides to dive in on top of him. But also, as ByuN gets more Marines out, that buffer for the tanks can become very strong. And once they have Stim, this it kind of changes things. Stim changes things quite a bit. Makes it a lot harder for those Cyclones to gain as much value as they would otherwise. Cure, though, he's just posturing right now. He's taking the third base behind this. The nice thing for Cure is he can just kind of do what he wants on his side of the map while he's pressuring. And because these units are all so mobile, ByuN, like, breaking out of this, he probably won't really be able to kill anything. But ByuN, he's going to go for the auto turrets on the other side of the map here. Just targeting down some SCVs, getting 7, 8 of them. Delaying some of these buildings. Drops another turret. He's going to go up to 10, 11 kills. Well, that's a good bit of damage there for ByuN. And the Ravens survive. They're going to hang out back here for now. They might not want to stay back there too long. But it looks like ByuN's feeling comfortable defending on the other side of the map without his Ravens. However, Cure, he's going to get the drop in. Never mind. He's going to pick back up. There go the Ravens in again. ByuN realizes there's absolutely nothing here to stop these Ravens from just dropping more auto turrets. A tank comes in to clean up that turret before it gets any more kills. That's still 4 kills. Meanwhile, this Cyclone drop continuing to not do anything on this side of the map, at least for now. ByuN, though, can't take a third. So while he's gotten a lot of damage done, his mining is less efficient. So the mining has been pretty consistent other than those worker pulls from Cure. But I will say, ByuN's army, it's getting pretty good. But Cure's done a good job transitioning on the other side of the map. He already has a bunch of Stim Marines out. Let's take a look at the unit count here. That is 31 to 18 Marines with 4 siege tanks to just the 1. And I feel like that's really important here. If ByuN does decide to push across the map with his Marines and tanks, and have a very powerful army. Ooh, but he goes for the drop. Going to get on top of some of these SCVs here. Boosts away as the Marines get there. And he's just going to go straight to the main base. Draw some units up here. Get another SCV kill. Get out of there. ByuN doing a great job keeping Cure's economy down while he's not been able to take his third. And finally, he will break the very soft contain that was here and take that third base. It feels super late, but I mean, he's done a good job keeping that economy in his favor during this time. Well, auto turrets coming in from the triple Raven. Just getting a couple of kills this time. Finish off a couple more of these and go right back in. And a double drop now for ByuN wants to hit, but Cure is moving out. And Cure has his Ravens with them. 3 Ravens. I think they're all full energy. Means he can shut down every single tank like twice. And there's no Marines here. Oh, the unsiege on a couple of those tanks, but it's not going to save them. We're just kind of base trading. And this is going to be much better for Cure, I think, who has his entire army on the other side of the map. ByuN can't even win that fight against the SCVs and Marines. And now he's got to try to defend. But again, Cure, he just shut everything down. No, hold on, the Ravens get targeted down. All 3 Ravens fall, but he gets the last shutdown off on one of the tanks. And he will kill it. This one last siege tank back here doing its best, but it will fall. And while ByuN's getting good damage done over on this side of the map, he is down to 23 workers. His natural is killed. And I think that might just be about it for game number 1. It feels like Cure, with this position down here in the natural, with all 3 of his bases left alive, even though he's just got 38 SCVs left, that's still pretty substantially more mining than his opponent has. ByuN is feeling pretty dead. His 2-2 will finish That's the best thing he's got going for him. He's going to try to break this with 2-2. He's got some units on the backside. He will clear this. But even with killing that medevac full of units, the army supplies are in favor of Cure. And 2-2, as good as it is, I don't think it's going to be enough to pull ByuN back in this game. He's going to get back to mining at his third, but he's still 14 workers down. And it just feels like Cure is going to have the better economy. He's got all these mules coming in, and it should allow him to just take an unfathomable, unbreakable lead in the army supply. As we see, yeah, that economy just skyrocketing in Cure's favor now. Oh, and this is great. It's exactly what Cure needs to do. Just gets in with a couple cyclones. It's not even about the damage. It's about pulling ByuN back, buying more time. The longer it takes for ByuN to get across the map, the better it is for Cure. Cure can just pump out units. He doesn't need to be in position, though. He's got to be a little careful here. If ByuN gets a good siege position, it could be dicey. Cure did lose his Ravens. This tank, ooh, could be in a good position. Yeah, I think there's going to be too much here for Cure. ByuN, he's taking an okay fight, but I feel like it's only a matter of time before Cure's reinforcements come out. This tank is going to win the fight. No, they trade out. It's just Marines left for ByuN, and even with the medevac healing, this is not going to be enough. He reinforces with the tank. He's just, I mean, he's really fighting it out. ByuN is fighting, but he is behind. He's going to go for the lift up. Going to go for the drop. It's the desperate move of a desperate man. These are desperate times. He's going to break the rocks in the middle and just try to reinforce at this base while he draws the army back into the natural or the main base with the double drop. He has one siege tank in here. I mean, this is not a scary drop, but it could be a scarier drop, and Cure gets on top of it pretty quickly. He needs to gun that tank down because the tank is the real threat. But then with the SCV pull, he is going to force this away. And ByuN, he's really just got nothing left, man. The army supply is shockingly consistent, but I think it's only a matter of time before that is not the case anymore. I don't think ByuN realizes how good Cure's economy still is. Cure oversteps a little bit there, going to lose some stuff. ByuN wants to go back into the natural with the drop. They're losing some Marines here on the ramp. Oh, and the drop has been spotted. Oh, and that drop's not going to get anywhere. Oh, no. RIP. All those units. And I think that'll probably be it as ByuN is losing his last couple of units up here. He's down to 26 army supply. Cure over double his army supply. There is the GG. Cure takes game number 1 over ByuN. Cure's TvT has always been a very strong point for him. He's showing it right there. That's what ByuN gets for trying to avoid the Cyclone versus Cyclone shenanigans, right? Yeah. I think it just ended up being kind of bad timing for ByuN. Cure moved out through the middle of the map. This happens, honestly, in a lot of TvTs, especially like the really fast-moving ones. I just realized I'm lobby host. God damn it. I forgot what I was saying. Okay. I'm not usually lobby host. I don't usually have to make the maps. Yes, cyclones. The cyclone part of it ended up kind of being a wash because of, yeah, the Raven harass and the drops from ByuN. But then hitting with the double drop as Cure came through with the full energy Ravens are really what do it, man. Like the full energy, 3 Ravens with the shutdowns available. You have to have Marines there. You have to have a threat to push those Ravens away. And we just didn't see that in that game. And that allowed this player to get straight up into the base, spawning in the lower right-hand corner of Gold Nora now. It is Team Liquid's Cure. His opponent in the upper left, down 0-1 in his best of 5. It is ByuN, the Shopify Rebellion. And I think ByuN really likes the... I feel like he just likes the Marine action in TvT. But not having Ravens when it's Marine tank versus Marine tank, like if you just don't have interference matrix and your opponent does, it's really hard. It's very difficult to fight that out. And I think Cure knew, I mean, he knew that the Ravens were harassing him, right? So he probably assumed that ByuN didn't get interference matrix, or even if he did, he wouldn't have it available. So he just took advantage of that, moved across the map when he had full energy on his Ravens and he knew his opponent wasn't going to have enough tanks where it could, like, it wouldn't be enough. You got 10 tanks and 6 shutdowns. The 10 tanks can still do okay, but no such luck there. This is... you don't see this that often. This SCV from Cure going to come in here and just harass ByuN's building command center. That's kind of fun. It will leave before the Reaper comes down, though. Well, second Reaper on the way for Cure. Whereas ByuN going into a Marine. Actually, these Reapers are going to circumnavigate each other, which is going to be better for Cure. We'll see if he's able to get in here and get a cheeky kill on an SCV. He should be able to. It does look like ByuN might be able to do that too, though, as the second Reaper is not out just yet. But, whereas Cure's going to push this Reaper away, I guess ByuN can as well. He's got the 2 Marines out. Oh, and ByuN jukes him. Gets back in and kills the second SCV. And now he's going into the main. Cure has nothing here. He's got to pull the Reapers back. Means he's going to lose one more SCV. No, Cure going to keep it alive. Ooh, Cure tried to dodge that grenade, but ByuN gets out of there? What? That should be illegal. That should be illegal. Yeehaw! Coming right on in! Dave Tester, thank you so much for the raid, my friend. And a yeehaw to you. Oh, no. It's got 1 hit point. Okay. Cure's going to get it. Man. ByuN, he almost got out of that. That's actually insane.
Oh, man.
I can't believe it.
Wow.
Yeti, thank you for the resubscribe, my friend. 15 months. Hot diggity dog. The Reapers try to jump up, and they will both die for it. R.I.P. the Reapers. Cure getting out 1 Hellion and then going into double Cyclone production. See the 1 Cyclone from ByuN? But that's a tech lab again, so it looks like it's going to be another tank build from ByuN off the back of a Marine Cyclone drop. Cure going to be able to defend this with the double Cyclone, I feel like, though. But he's sending the Hellion in. It might get a little bit weird. Dave, thank you so much for gifting a sub to USMC Vet Gamer. Love to see it. Thank you, buddy. All right, ByuN coming in, but there are 2 Cyclones here against the 1 Cyclone and the Marines. The Marines will get healing from the medevac. And, of course, there's some fancy micro to be done. ByuN's going to boost out of there. Looks like a couple of kills for the Hellion as well, so fairly even trade here. Just a little bits of back and forth. Nothing too much to speak of, but Cure getting into the same setup we saw last game. And ByuN, again, going for the siege tanks. So, how does ByuN play this differently so that the same thing doesn't happen to him? Because I feel like Cure can just do it again, right? Get across the map with the Ravens and Cyclones. Keep ByuN from easily moving out from his base so you can take your third more easily. Maybe Cure devotes a little bit more to the defense in case there's more harass again. But I don't know. Cure put himself in such a good spot in game 1. I don't see why he can't do it in game 2. Falcon Paladin, thank you so much for the raid. I haven't seen some Falcon Paladin action in a while. Hope you're doing well, buddy. ByuN is going to go straight into the Marines again, so he's going to have a much quicker 1-1. I don't think we have eBays at all out of Cure. Cure is getting towards that production, though, with more barracks coming up, but still focused on the Cyclones and Ravens. ByuN didn't build any Ravens this time. It's actually insane. Like, man, if you just ask high-level Terrans, like, do you need Ravens? I feel like they just say yes. But there's 2 players that they'll just not build them. And I'm like, you can't do that. That's illegal. But it's ByuN and Gumiho, and they'll just win. Anyways, turns out if you're really good, you can do things that, like, should be bad. I feel like if you asked Hero Marine if you needed Ravens in TvT, he'd be like, yes, of course. Of course you need Ravens in TvT. They're crucial. And ByuN's out here like, nah, dude. I don't know. I'll just build some turrets. It'll be fine. I guess we'll see. We'll see if ByuN can make it work this time. Because I'll tell you, those Ravens were pretty crucial in the last game. Ooh, the double lock. He gets out of there. 7 hit points. Oh, this Marine? Don't tell me this Marine gets it. Oh, my God. That Marine was so close. The 3 hit point Marine almost just dumpstered ByuN's drop. That would have been wild. I mean, I will say ByuN's army, it's strong. You got a bunch of Marines. You got 4 tanks. Even got a Liberator out here being annoying. Look at this guy go. Cure's coming in with 3 almost full energy Ravens, and we've seen this happen. Now, this time ByuN is not out on the map. He is home to defend. This is still a nice position for Cure. And he's just moving these Ravens forward, keeping them within tank range so the Marines can't get on them. Like, 1 Viking here would be pretty cool for ByuN. Be pretty cool. Now it's a bit of a standoff. If Cure had a couple more siege tanks, this would be a little scarier. But, of course, his factory time was being used to produce Cyclones instead of tanks. So it just has the 1 out here. Oh, ByuN gonna try to take advantage of Cure not looking, gets 2 Ravens, and gets out of there with a decent amount of the Marines intact. And now Cure does not have a threat to shut down every single siege tank, but he is still gonna move forward a little bit, and he still has 2 shutdowns available. Should ByuN overstep a little bit. ByuN, it looks like he was heading into the main base. Maybe he thought there was like a drop coming or something. But he's just eating some damage here. Gonna dive forward, forcing the auto turrets to drop before that Raven dies. But that means no more shutdowns, and that means ByuN will be able to siege up and clear that tank. Without the tank, I mean, these Cyclones are just not that scary to the 6 siege tanks of ByuN. However, Cure, he's got his Marines ready to go. So as the Cyclones, they try to get out of there, although they're not doing that great of a job of it. One of them escapes. He's also going to hit on the left side with the Marines, and oh my God. Oh, I thought he was about to run away. He almost did. ByuN somehow, some way gets the cancel on that base. But now he's got to come back and defend. It looks like he wasn't too far away, but he's going to pull the boys. Cure picks up super quick, gets out of there, avoids the Marines, gets 5 SCV kills, pulls ByuN's army back. That was a really nice bit of harassment there from Cure. And that's going to give him more time to get a couple more siege tanks out, get a bunch more Marines out, and potentially mount a defense. But man, it is 7-2 siege tanks right now. The Marine counts are very similar. However, ByuN's 2-2 is almost finished. And that's going to make this very difficult for Cure to hold. ByuN's just going for it, man. He's like, you do not have enough Marines here. He's going to siege up those siege tanks. The one tank back here from Cure doing some damage, but the Marines are all going down. He guns down the tank. ByuN has lost most of his Marines, but there's no answer for the tanks right now. And Cure's third base is getting routed. It looks like Cure maybe wanted to hit from the back. He is not going to go for it. Instead, looking for some reinforcements, but ByuN keeping his stuff back at home for now. He knows that double drop is still out there, I think. His tank has high ground vision. It's going to get a couple more juicy shots off before it goes down. Double drop is going to come in. ByuN has enough here to push it away, but he'll get the sensor tower before that happens. Actually, Cure just sticks around to fight this out, and that is not going to be enough. And I'm kind of liking ByuN's position here. He's got his fourth base finished. He's going to float that over. Cure's third base is back to mining, but I don't see a fourth command center for him, so he is about to be a base behind, despite that worker count being on par with each other. Now, Cure does have the Viking count that's going to help him have vision, which is very important in a TvT. Also going to let him get these Liberators out, which ByuN will not have much of an answer to for the moment. Oh, ByuN's going to just drop into the main base, though. This is not working. 3 turrets here, plus the Vikings and the Marines not very far away. Now the Liberator's going to force these tanks out. No more vision for ByuN. He tries to leave, but Cure takes a nice trade there, kills a lot of ByuN's army. And Cure ends up 20 army supply ahead off the back of that. So while ByuN, I think, put himself in a solid spot with that push, kind of erased all of that and then some by trying to drop into the main base with 3 medevacs that just got completely demolished. And now ByuN's just trying to hold in the middle of the map, but I mean, Cure can always push these tanks back if he's slow and careful with it, or if he just says screw it and goes in. Why not? I mean, ByuN's got some reinforcements on the left. This ends up being a bit of a weird fight here. I think it's better for Cure, but a little hard to say. Yeah, Cure still has that army supply lead by quite a bit, and he's going to be able to keep on pushing. I think the Liberators went down. That's the one thing ByuN got out of that. It's going to make it a little bit easier to defend with just a couple of siege tanks. But the tank count is now in favor of Cure. The Marine count is very similar. And for the time being, the upgrades are even, although ByuN's 3-3 is on the way and Cure's is not. I say solidly as Cure starts it up immediately. He just knows, dude. He knows. But Cure still does not have a fourth base, and ByuN's is up and running. So this is a problem for Cure. He can't just keep doing this forever. He needs to get that fourth base up. So while the counter pressure was a possibility, now ByuN's economy is better, and we're starting to see it pay off, as he was down 20 army supply a minute ago, and now he is up 10 army supply. And he just takes that advantage right on back. It helps that he's only building Marines and siege tanks, so that supply builds a lot quicker than trying to get Vikings and Liberators out as well. So Cure's army is a little technically better. Ooh, but ByuN, he is running into tank fire, so despite having a ton of Marines, he's just running into this army in the middle of the map. Oh no, ByuN just gets wiped off of the map, and while the supplies tell us this is still close, so much of ByuN's supply is in production right now, and he needs to defend against more siege tanks with less. He's gonna target down one. Only gets the one before Cure pushes him back, and he's only got one siege tank up here. The second one is not siege, and Cure is smelling blood in the water. Does run into some siege tank fire, and ByuN will get sieged up. Now Cure falls back to his own tanks. He is still up 5-3. ByuN still has a massive Marine lead though, 28-40 right now. He's going to go for a big triple drop. Whoop, never mind, he drops out a little early. Take a bit of a fight here. I mean, kind of just trading out at the moment. This one tank is doing work back here for ByuN. Cure's not been able to get on top of that. Cure is mostly just tanks here right now. ByuN's going for some counter damage as Cure's main base went down to his fourth. Oh, ByuN, he doesn't want to go back into that main with all those turrets. But he is going to drop on top of these tanks. There's 2 Vikings here, but where are the Marines? They're not close enough, and almost all those tanks go down. Only 1 stays left alive. ByuN clearing a lot of this on his side of the map while keeping Cure a little bit occupied back here. He hasn't gotten any damage done on this side of the map, but it's keeping Cure's reinforcements back at home. And that's going to force Cure to pull everything back. And that's just so good for ByuN, who's got a 5th base turning into a planetary during all of this. Cure, despite being on ByuN's side of the map, he didn't really get anything done. Didn't get any economic damage done. Didn't kill any bases or SCVs. Didn't get on top of any production. It was just trades. And that's going to be good for ByuN, who's been mining way more for the past 5 minutes. I mean, this is insane. This is 1,500 resources here per minute, and he is just dominating. Oh, I didn't even see this. He has a 6th base. It is about to die to these Marines. This is like a false sense of security for Cure, though. Who, like that base, oh man, and Cure's gonna lose this one. That was his 3rd CC, floated over to the 5th. Now, Cure is gonna dive down here as well. There's 1 tank and 4 Marines here. That is enough to push Cure back, and Cure's in a tough spot. And oh my God, GG. We look back at Cure's side of the map, and well, that is just that. ByuN dominating with pure Marine tank. I guess medevac too. Marine tank medevac. Didn't worry about the Vikings. Didn't worry about the Ravens. Can we? Sorry, I forgot again. I had to make the map. Just went straight for Marine tank medevac, and it worked out. Kind of a crazy ass game. I think I forgot about this again too. God, I keep forgetting what I'm talking about. I can't do that and talk about whatever I was talking about at the same time. Clearly, my brain cannot handle 2 things at once. That's why I'm bad at StarCraft. Yeah, I think the fact that Cure was just never able to like really get damage done to ByuN. They would like take a trade, but ByuN was always economically ahead, and he was always making the units that were like quicker to reinforce, but also quicker to affect the battle, right? Like 2 Vikings coming into battle, they can be really good in terms of like a positional sense. Be really good to help you facilitate getting into liberators, but all that's slow. When Marines pop out, they are there. They are doing damage. It is right now. And so every time Cure would do some damage and push ByuN back, ByuN's reinforcements were immediately affecting the situation. And I think that's what really helped ByuN constantly hold on when it felt dire. Cure's army was better. But Cure just had no economy, and his reinforcements were not doing that immediate damage. Now, we should talk about this game because there's a proxy already spawning in the upper left-hand corner and putting his buildings in the lower right-hand corner. It is Team Liquid's Cure, who says, screw that noise, I'm going to proxy 2 racks. His opponent in the lower right, the Shopify Rebellion, is ByuN, who I do not think has SCV scouted in this series. So I don't expect him to know this is coming. And I mean, ByuN is not above a Reaper expand. In fact, I think ByuN's gonna Reaper expand. And that's not good against a proxy 2 racks. In fact, that is very, very specifically what the proxy 2 racks Reaper is meant to punish. It's the Reaper expand. The Reaper expand, this was like the build. This was, you did this honestly every matchup. It was just Reaper expand. Why not? You can do it every matchup. And then Mara was like, what if I just proxy 2 racks Reaper like every single game in GSL in 2018? And all the other Terrans were like, damn. I'm just gonna lose every game, huh? I have a very distinct memory of Keen Reaper expanding and not SCV scouting Maru when he was up 1-0 and then just lost 2 games in a row to the 2-Rax Reaper, and it was pain, absolute pain for me as a keen fan. ByuN's in trouble, guys. He does have a Marine on the way out, which is the ideal follow-up to the Reaper here, but he's going to lose that SCV. He's pulling some more boys. Oh, but the Reaper's going to get jumped on. Oh, and he doesn't even get the kill here. Cure. Try to get that Reaper out of there. It will go down, but now it's just the Marine, and that's just GG. And Cure takes a very quick game number 3 off of ByuN with the proxy 2-Rax Reaper. Not diggity. Yeah. After all the macro, especially in Gold Lore, man, that game was insane. Then we have the quickest TvT of all time. And now we are heading in to Site Delta on match point. Match point for Cure. Hoping we get another macro game. Although it'd be hilarious to see ByuN proxy 2-Rax Reaper now. It's absolutely something that could happen too. Honestly, one of my favorite things about, in particular, like Korean pros, and I feel like they're a lot more likely to do stuff like that than European or even NA pros, is just like, you just really never know when they're gonna mix in a cheese. It's like impossible. There's no like predictor. It could be any single game of any length series could just be a cheese. You always have to be prepared. And speaking of which, spawning in the lower right hand corner, he has decided to do it again for Team Liquid. It's Cure. Oh boy. Of course, defending will be the blue Terran in the upper left, ByuN. And, well, we'll see here. We'll see here. There's the second gas. That's what we were looking for. I was thinking maybe based on the timing it was going to be 2 gas. So ByuN playing it a bit safer. Now, there's still a chance for Cure to just bop here, depending on how the... Honestly, it's like the very first engagement. How that very first engagement goes. If ByuN gets caught out, and like loses his first Reaper very quickly or something of that nature, like he can be in a lot of trouble. But I don't really expect that from ByuN, so I think ByuN's going to be in a good spot to defend this game. Now we will see as the first Reaper is coming out for both of them. ByuN's about to start up his factory. His factory will be done a lot sooner than the one in last game would have been. SCV going to come up and scout and see what's up, and ByuN, I feel like, going to be very suspicious of that SCV. That being said, Cure did SCV scout in at least game 2. I don't know if he did in game 1. So maybe that little SCV popping up there isn't that suspicious. Oh, no. Whew. ByuN turns around immediately, but he is still taking 2 hits on this Reaper. 3 hits. And that is not a good spot to be in. This SCV is going to go down. Reaper Grenade trying to buy some time, but the factory is going to get delayed. And that is just a big problem here for ByuN. Now, he's got a second Reaper about to pop. He's got the SCVs pulled. Wait, did he lose that first Reaper? Oh, no. Where is it? Oh, it's right here. I'm crazy. 3 Reapers going to dive up here, but the SCVs are right on the ramp to help out. Ooh, no grenades hitting. Oh, good job there for ByuN. He turns the SCVs around, gets the kill. The Hellion is going to pop. One of ByuN's Reapers will die, but both of Cure's Reapers will die as well. To that last Hellion shot getting the splash damage. And now a Cyclone starts up with another Reaper about to pop here for ByuN. He's going to heal up his Hellion. And ByuN has held this. Now Cure has a Cyclone on the way back at home. So the counter of the Cyclone will not just win the game for ByuN. But he has held that, and that puts him in a good spot. He's got his CC over halfway done already. versus the just started command center of Cure. And while 4 SCVs did fall, you see the worker count is the same. And with that earlier second CC, I think ByuN's got to be feeling pretty happy with this. Oh, this is cute. You're going to get an SCV kill, just barely, with that Reaper diving up there. I think he just wanted to keep these units home a little longer. Doesn't look like ByuN's going to move out, at least right now, but he wanted to just keep those units back a little bit longer so he could get some more stuff out back at home. Maybe get this Rax back here. It looks like ByuN might be content to sit on his side of the map for now. I'm sure he knows he's going to have the faster command center. And pushing into your opponent with Cyclones is always a bit dangerous on this map because of the ramp. Even if Cure has less, sitting on top of that ramp can make it a slightly more even fight. Oh, that is a second factory for Cure, who is going into mech in this game. Well, now you love to see that, don't you? You love to see those outfits, don't you? ByuN is going to put some pressure on, though. He's got the Liberator that's going to hit in the main, and I think his thought here is draw those Cyclones into the main and then hit in the natural. Whoop, did that medevac spot this? Is that a fake drop? Cure is so big brain. I don't think it's going to work, but man, that is such a sick move. He really wanted to try to draw ByuN back home, but ByuN's going to dive into the natural. SCVs are feeling a little bit alone. He's going to go up the ramp a little bit. This is where the ramp gets a little dicey. However, while ByuN is fighting this out right now, he's going to lose his Cyclones. The Liberator going to siege up in the main base and just get a bunch of kills for free. And this medevac, he just went over here, got hit, and left. Didn't have anything in it. ByuN did lose a bunch there. The trades end up being even, but he gets 9 SCV kills, and that's huge. When his command center was down first, he's up 10 workers now. I mean, this is fantastic for his economy, which is going to be very important in the next couple of minutes here. Now, Cure could try to counterattack. He could heal up his medevac and go for that actual Cyclone drop. But ByuN built a bunch of Cyclones, and Cure spotted those Cyclones with the medevac, so he knows that there's some amount of Cyclones behind this. Now, Cure is going to be getting into potentially a lot of Cyclones, and he could go for the upgrade, which it looks like he may go for here. He's selecting that tech lab. I don't know if ByuN actually spotted that. Ooh, he didn't. He didn't see the second factory. That's actually huge. I don't know if he's going to be expecting this many Cyclones coming out. He is going for Marine Tank once again. He's got to be prepared for this because there's also Ravens with Interference Matrix coming out. And we saw how good that can be in game 1. Cure's on match point here. So he's going to fight this one out. But he is in a tight spot. I like that he's going for something that ByuN might not be prepared for. But at the same time, I mean, Marines and tanks are pretty good. We saw that from ByuN. I think it's going to be tough for Cure to bust him here. Even though busting him might make him feel good. Oh, that's kind of cute. He's going to drop on the siege tank. ByuN is completely not paying attention. He's just going to lose that tank. Well, very good for Cure. And Cure's going to start moving across right now. If he doesn't need to Interference Matrix tanks, he can drop auto turrets, which that's a lot of DPS for a very short period of time. Looks like the Liberator went down. I don't know what I'm hearing up here. Oh, it's the auto turret. The Liberator went down, but the Raven going to get a few kills as well. So that's 5 more SCV kills. Cure's economy is in the dumps. If he's going to dive up here, he's got to do it soon. The bunker makes it even harder. There are still 2 siege tanks here. The main base... Oh, did he? Oh, no, the drop's down here. Okay. Yeah, he's pulling the units from the main base to help out. Down on the low ground. Auto turret's going to fall. The bunker will not last very long. Still a lot of Marines here for ByuN. Let's see if he can hold on. The auto turrets have dropped, but ByuN, I think he's got too much. Cure has to pull back. this army from Cure, the problem is, doesn't have longevity. So if he can't crack ByuN, now he's got a bunch of cyclones with their speed upgrade in this composition. I don't know if that's going to be super cost efficient for him moving forward. He is going into mech though. If he can get some siege tanks out, he kept the 2 of the Ravens alive. That was, yeah, he lost 1 of the Ravens, but he's still got 2. He can gather some energy on them. Oh man, but ByuN's taking a 3rd. There's no 3rd command center for Cure. Is he sending an SCV out now to build this 3rd CC? Oh dude, he is so far behind. I mean, Cure's only hope here is that mech is so cost efficient that he can just withstand whatever ByuN throws at him. But playing from behind, like economically behind with mech, is virtually impossible. Yes, it's cost efficient, but it's so hard to keep up with heavy marine play. And we already have Marauders, mixed in here for ByuN, which are just going to make him beefier. But I feel like ByuN, he needs to put on pressure fairly soon, but I feel like if he does, he's going to put himself in a fantastic spot. I don't think Cure's army can stand up to too much pressure. I like this. ByuN breaking down these rocks. He's 40 supply up. 4th CC started up. He's keeping most of his tanks back at home in case of counterattacks with the Cyclones. Cure does seem to be keeping his Cyclones somewhat back at home. The Ravens can also anti-armor missile this bio. So if ByuN's not paying attention for a second, he takes a big anti-armor missile. It's going to make it tougher, and honestly, time is on Cure's side a little bit here. ByuN's supply is, oh man, it is skyrocketing though. Maybe that's not the case. Just the more tanks Cure gets out, the harder this is for ByuN. But it's hard if you're up 30 supply. He's up 50, and he's going to start diving right on in. Tanks getting shut down, but I don't even think it matters. ByuN's got a bit of a surround. He's got medevacs. 2 of the tanks can stay sieged up. Cure's taking a cost-efficient fight here, and he is going to push this back. You know what? Hold on. That was really good. Very cost-efficient for Cure. And I mean, he was down a lot of supply earlier. He's now down 5, but his army supply is way up. He is up 30 army supply, and that's a problem for ByuN, whose 1-1 is about to finish. He hit such an anti-timing with that push, and now Cure is counter-pushing. ByuN, oh no! Did he throw it? This is Cure's time right here. He has to go. He is on 40 SCVs, but he's got so many tanks. ByuN does not have an answer to 7 siege tanks outside of his base. Look at these Marauders get blasted. He kills 1 tank, but he's going to lose his tank to the landed Vikings. And then Cure's just going to keep pushing. SCV's getting pulled. He's got to go for it now or never. Does ByuN have enough to clear this? I kind of don't think he does. The Vikings land. The SCVs all get blasted, and ByuN is forced to tap out despite having such a huge lead in that game. Just takes an abysmal fight. The Cyclone's coming in. I don't think he was ready for the Cyclone support there. And Cure ends up taking the perfect fight where most of his army was left alive. He had no economy, but he just counter pushed. You don't need an economy if you have the army. And those tanks just winning Cure the game, winning Cure the match, winning Cure this KSL. GG.